Accept that you are a nurse, you have to deal with everything.
Have technology.
Huh?
Have technology.
Yeah, use technology. Utilize technology. Make technology work for you. Don't work for technology.
What if I'm poor, I don't have technology?
You have your smartphone. Okay. So we need to innovate our curriculums. We need to re-innovate our curriculums. Don't rely on the old curriculums. We need to update our curriculums with all these requirements. We need to expand Nixon literature through research. Our database, now we are not using textbooks. Now it's mostly software. So the software will help us in finding the right answers. We need to update our curriculums always with the new requirements. We need to invest our time in nursing education research to find a better way how to teach each subject in most efficient manner. We need also to re-innovate our clinical learning. We need to identify the theoretical part and practical part and emphasize the practical skills and competencies. We need to provide supervised training more and more. One idea is that what you teach in a classroom, same person will supervise the staff in the clinical area in the field, which is the best way to evaluate does he learn or no. Because he can pass the exam, but still he is not competent. Evidence-based practice application in clinical settings. Train nurses on specialty areas. For example, nurses now we have wound care. What else? Quality nurses. What else? VAD team. Right? Specialization, huh? Pain management. Also, we need to provide proper clinical training. We need to train the trainers. So we need a lot of training for the trainers.
We write and give to Hamza already.
Huh?
We wrote and give to Hamza.
Yeah. Also, we need to learn with the new learner preferences. Who is our client? Who is your client?
Nurses.
The nurses. Right? So, what is their preferences? What affects their preferences? Now we are dealing with what Brother Sheikh Hussein said. Now we have male nurses since 15 years, no male nurses. So now we have more male nurses.
Really?
Huh?
For 15 years, no male nurses.
No, in the past. I didn't say in the future. We have deal with age differences because as he mentioned now, we have senior staff people and we have junior staff and they all come to your one class. So how to deal with different age demographic. Socioeconomic status. Now it's no more nursing is for poor. Now it's becoming improved reputation and now more people from middle class, even in higher class, joining nursing career. Why do you think it's wrong?
I agree with Ahmad. These are myths about nursing.
Huh?
These are myths of nursing.
Why do you think it's wrong?
Do you think anybody from higher people will come and join nursing?
Yes.
Can you give an example?
It depends how they define higher people. It depends how they define higher people. Before, nursing was for very poor people.
Yes.
Absolutely very poor people.
Yes.
Okay?
That much, yeah.
Now it's middle class. I didn't say yesterday or
Actually,
Now the
100 years before.
now the standard of nursing curriculum increased, and we can say it is just below the medicine. So if anybody is opting for medical career, if they didn't get the medical seat, immediately they will choose the Bachelor of Science in Nursing.
This is the same story. What happened with me?
Pharmacy,
No dentistry, no.
If you don't have other option, even in the other fields.
Really, but in my area, no, not like that.
So there is a difference.
Underestimate your
Let's listen.
For BSc nursing.
listen. It's obvious that we have different
Yeah,
backgrounds,
this issue-
different from nationalities. So it's different everywhere. But it's thought that more people from higher class, not the highest class, I didn't say higher than before. So higher socioeconomic classes than before, and it is evidence-based. It's not my opinion. Huh? Huh? What?
Poor, بعدين for middle, بعدين for higher.
Before
proof.
What?
Before was very poor.
Why
Before was the criminals
why
sometimes. They are becoming nurses. Before,
Sorry?
Why
Illiterate
only
people, they become nurses.
Nowadays it's improved the
No,
class.
before, why only for poor people?
There's a lot of reasons.
Like
A lot of reasons. I told you, in the West it was dedicated for hospitals were made only for poor people, and the care was done by prostitutes and criminal females.
Brother Ahmed,
So the history was bad.
give me 2 minutes. It was not only like
I,
that.
I don't have time, sorry.
Just at least 1 minute. Before,
Let's talk.
just take it. Don't go to the far future. Just far past. Nearly like 20 years back, actually the nursing standards were very low. They were considered as just like slaves. What the doctor is telling, just to do that one. That is the reason why the nursing doesn't have the status in the society. But now, in these 10 years, it has changed a lot because we have separate curriculum, all these things came, and the standards slowly raised, and we proved that independently we can do something. So that is what it's all about. So now it is changed. That is the reason why the high socioeconomic status people also are opting the nursing, because especially in the Western countries, it is something different.
Okay.
They don't have.
Thank you.
From the high.
Okay, guys, let's come back on track. Let's come back on track. Let's come back on track, guys. Let's come back on track. Sorry, just because we have time limit. Huh?
It's very interesting, bro.
That's why. I didn't know it would be that interesting. So the generation gap. Do you know about the 4 generation? Did anybody know about the 4 generations?
Why or
If I was 4 in 1, 2, 3, 4.
Not for antibiotics, for people,
grandfather,
for the people.
father,
Huh? Huh? Huh?
They're millennials.
Millennials. What else?
Yes,
What
the
happened?
80s.
What else?
But I know only they're millennials.
We are millennials. Most of us,
From
huh?
1980s
Supposedly.
till today.
Huh? What else?
They're millennials.
What other generations do you know about?
Whole generation.
All generation. Like,
Two generations.
what is the generation gap? Some people say my kids are the next generation. Yeah, they can be. Yeah, but if they have a lot of age gap between us, but usually it is. So generation gap is a difference in values, attitudes between people of different generations. So different generations have different values, different attitudes. That's why there is something called generation gap.
Yes.
Okay? To understand why we need to understand the gap.
The changes of the changes.
To reduce the conflicts.
Again, to understand how to teach those people. Okay, so you have the capability to change your style of teaching to accommodate your audience. So each generation has distinct attitudes and behaviors, and some prefer visual learning, auditory, tactile, or reflective, or first generation we'll talk about nowadays. You can find or deal with them is baby boomers. Baby boomers is born from 1946 to 1964.
Yes.
And they love the traditional learning. They like to collaborate and learn in groups. Okay, so classroom settings is the ideal. And also they like the traditional learning and also reflect on the ideas and use tactile learning styles. Generation X. Generation X is familiar with the fall of the Soviet Union, with the Berlin Wall fall, with DVDs and CDs. They born from 1965 to 1980s. Anybody from Generation X here?
Yes.
Sister Farzan, only.
But
Okay? So, Late generation X. Okay. So please show respect to such person.
No, not only me, some other.
Yes.
Others, but they are hiding. Okay. What they prefer? They like independent thinking,
Yes.
visual and auditory learning.
Yes.
Wow.
Do you like online learning, right? So not so much.
What is this?
This is stereotypical image.
So very simple.
They need to learn not to take a text. Okay, we will not take a text and read it. They like to say, okay, explain in a case study. So show me for example, the diagnosis. Tell me about the symptoms about a case. This patient came with symptoms. So they like to learn by case studies. Okay. So the updated books start each chapter by case study. Okay. Also, they like problem solving. So they related to this one. So they give a scenario, and the scenario they will reflect on the scenario how to deal with it. Fast forward to generation 1, millennials. Okay, from 1981 to 1994, between this time.
Yes.
So you can deal with those people who are 30 plus years old up to 27 years old. They call millennials. They interested in online activities, lots of online activities. They are familiar with the word meme. Do anybody familiar with the word meme?
Yes.
Huh?
New words there.
Do you anybody familiar with the word meme?
Meme, yeah.
Who is not? What is a meme?
Meme like we are taking some, for example, I don't know how to define it. If I need to tell something to the society, I will refer some movies and I will create the
Picture and comment.
Picturization and comment.
You know, it's like, for example, you saw one movie scene and they take a picture of that one, and you saw someone laughing or someone doing an expression, and you write down, oh, this is me when I am hungry. Oh, this is me when I am sad. This is me when I see my mother-in-law, like that. So this is like a comment, a comedy, and joke on a scene.
We call this also internet slang.
9 out of 10, they have a smart device of the millennium. 9 out of 10. Also, they have a lot of gadgets, and they have some fashion trends. Okay, so they also independent thinkers. They like visual and tactile learning. So now they want to move from the classroom to this field to learn, and they touch the things with their hands. And they like to do online learning, and they don't read all the things. They do control F. They search. They don't read the whole article. They do control F and they search. Right? They don't have the time to read all the articles. They use critical thinking environment. They ask questions and they reflect on the information given. Fast forward to generation Z, which is our children. They born with the smartphone, so they are familiar with the computers. They can, for example, my daughter, she is like 1.5 years. She opened YouTube.
But
Just by touch, she's not like.
But in 2005, it's not the era of smartphones.
They born in 2000. They were born, so now they are like 9 years old, 7 years old, like that. They are not having the smartphone at that time.
Because it is my generation, that's why.
I know, 2005 there was already a smartphone.
Yes, we have. But
Yeah, I have my first smartphone in 2005, Windows based.
Yes.
You think about Apple only. No, before Apple there was Windows based.
Sony Ericsson, first one came.
Yeah. So the high utilization of technology, they like to see pictures, not to read. And they also dependent thinkers. The problem that you need to guide them to the ideas, to give them hint. The common words, Google it, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter. So this is very common and they use activity. So this is a comparison between the 4 generations. So common words for the baby boomers say, write for me, message in the paper. The generation X, you said call me through phone. And generation Y will say email me, right? Send me email. And generation Z will say text me. Okay? So we need to adapt the new forms before it's, oh, it's not official. WhatsApp is not official. Now it will be official, okay? Right. What comes after generation Z? Enter generation Alpha. So this is generation Alpha. Born 2010 till today. So they can show you how to log in and open websites and this one. Okay? So like, they have no issues with this one, and we're still learning how they prefer teaching. Okay? So let's comparison between the two extremes, baby boomers and generation Alpha. Baby boomers like verbal education, generation Alpha like visual. Baby boomers like sit and listen. They don't sit. They don't like to sit and listen. They like to try and see. They like to experiment immediately, directly to experimentation. So you have to put something to do inside your classroom, not to start with the PowerPoint. They like the teacher. Your role should be facilitator for the generation Alpha. Baby boomers, they are worried about job securities. They want to maintain the same job until the end of retirement. The generation Alpha, they are very flexible to move from one job to another job. Baby boomers commanding, they like to give orders, they like to be a boss. Generation Alpha, they like to collaborate and make friends. Baby boomers, they like to have a curriculum. I want to follow a curriculum. While generation Alpha, they like the learning to be suiting me, tailored for me. Also, baby boomers, they used to close book exams. Generation Alpha, they used to open book exams. And they deal with books and papers for baby boomers, and generation Alpha, they deal with glass and devices. So everything are devices. Okay? So once time I was like speaking to some doctor, I said, is there any problem if like my children exposed to technology a lot like that? He said, no, you should make the books always in front of them because they will be confused. Looks like he doesn't have the updated knowledge, because each generation, how they start with from beginning, for us it's distracting, the technology. For generation Alpha, it's not distracting.
They love it.
They don't. Does not distract them. Okay. So there is like for us. Oh my God! This make me headache. A lot of messages. For them, it's just like breathing. Okay. So how to deal with this? After what do you know about the generation gap? How to deal with this?
Give books to the baby boomers, give iPad to
The yeah.
Problem solved.
Technology is very bad.
Problem solved.
Yes. Ask my father to go and get the things, but I will book it online and I will get it.
Yeah. Actually, nowadays it's more online. Okay. So we need to diversify modes of format. Like some form of the answer he said, to give books and to give devices. We need to provide how to educate through devices. So distance education options, e-learning and online education, and self-paced learning. Divide theoretical part and practical part. Theoretical part will be done by self-paced. He will see the modules like Lippincott. Now you will tell the staff, read about the competency, answer the exam, come to me, I will see the skill only. Okay? Also, interprofessional education. So you provide the collaboration part. So they will not only have, not only about nursing. They need to know what is happening with the radiology, what's happening with the other pain management, wound management. So they need to learn what other disciplines interest. Provide personalized learning. So you need to see the progress of your student. Not everyone should have at the end of the year exam, then be moved to the next year. No, do not let the students have the next exam or the next year unless he have full competency for the first exam. So the one who is faster, he can finish quickly. The one who is slower, need more time, give him more time, more practice. So pushing every year, this is wrong, and it will change in the future by self-paced learning. And what is our role here? Focus on the student who need help and help him. So we can see through a lot of evaluation methods, a lot of monitoring, a lot of interactions. This student need repetition, need to see this part more, so we give him more education and more effort. Student ownership. So the student need to set his own objective. No more like you are putting him for him, you have to do this today, this is your activity. No, you have to put his own objectives and his time management. Student input, his evaluation. Do he like this part or he need repeat it more? Ask him. Did you benefit from how was the lesson was taught or no? Do you like it? Which part was better for you? The practical part or the video part? So now you can improve. Different choices. You can provide education through devices, different technique, different programs. Blended learning, flipped classroom, and bring your own device is new terminology in the education. Bring your own device. Project-based learning. No more like I will learn today about, let's say, heart failure.
Well, the term is finished.
Yes.
I will just have 3 minutes more because we have a lot of discussion.
1 minute.
Fine. Project skill application of let's say they will have a project and the project will have scenario and they will learn that the diagnosis or the medication from the project itself or from the scenario. So they will not have only separate topic about the heart failure. No, they will see in real life and a real situation. And our role need to change from being a teacher like that to a facilitator. Not to interfere. Limit your interaction to 20%. 80% should be done by the student. So you let them engaged. If they need help, you just guide them only. So this is the new rule for education. Proliferation of technology. So technology is obvious, we talk about it a lot. Increase automation, artificial intelligence, we need to be acquainted with all of this terminology. We already have the projector smart boards, simulation labs, the use of internet, Lippincott, smartphones. We need to utilize all of these things. Don't say any negative thing about technology, means you are not looking in the future. You are just stuck in the past. You can use video assisted teaching in nursing procedures because it's interactive, because it's engaging. And also we need to maximize our efficiency. So we need to monitor our quality for education. So we need to monitor quality continuously. We need to have our own key performance indicators. We need to change how to evaluate, because now people who have the ECG course, when they come to the clinical settings, they already passed the exam or 90%, they don't know how to see the ECG. Or they have the critical care medication course, they cannot know how to calculate this or that. So how to improve our evaluation system and how this will change our teaching. So it's better to be evaluated at each step, not at the end of the day. And also make the evaluation on the field, not in the course. And these are my references. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yes. What is the future of? I'm sorry for the interference.
No, it's okay.